Hello and welcome to Yoga and Meditation with me, Jane Stimson, Instruction Librarian at the Lone Star College-CyFair Library. Very happy to be bringing you yoga and meditation and all of our events and programs online this semester. So in tonight's class, I had a request for something for tonight's class. The request was to cover different types of sun salutations. So that's what we're going to be doing tonight. This is going to be a pretty active class. We're going to be moving a lot. So if that was not quite what you had in mind for class this evening, that's okay. Sometimes we need different stuff from our mats. So if you are more in the mood for kind of like a relaxy, slow-paced class, you might want to go back and do the class from 2 weeks ago, from November 5th, or one of my other ones. But if you are ready to move a little bit, we are going to go ahead and get straight into it tonight. So, hey Olive, Olive's ready to move too. So with that in mind, let's come onto our hands and knees. And we're just going to start by stirring our own pot a little bit, right? So just move in a way that feels good for you. Move in a way where you can sort of start to warm up and to let your body move tonight. So maybe that means circling the hips in one direction. Maybe that means moving the hips and the head in opposite directions. Maybe rolling the neck a little bit. Just make sure whatever you do, if you're moving something in circles, take a second to move it the other way so your body is even out. You can even sink the hips back towards the toes and come back. Lots of ways to move. And then taking your time, we're going to move into some cat-cows. So if you're still feeling good, like shaking out everything, you can keep shaking out everything. Otherwise, bring yourself to a tabletop with a neutral spine. So wrists are underneath shoulders, knees are underneath hips. And you can tuck the toes or leave them flat on the mat. It's your call. But when you're ready, on your next inhale, drop the belly, look up for cow pose. And on your exhale, round the back and tuck the chin to the chest for cat. Moving with your own breath and your own time. So inhaling to cow, really letting the back arch. Exhaling to cat, pushing the floor away with your hands, letting yourself hollow out. Moving at whatever speed the breath wants to take you tonight. Maybe just a couple more rounds of cat-cow. And bring it back to a neutral spine. We're going to do some core work. We want to do a little bit of core work to help get us ready and warm up for our sun salutations. So first, bring the left hand forward. Bring the right knee off the mat. And for just a moment, let's stretch the calf. So stretch back into that right foot. And then come on back. And when you're ready, on your inhale, lift the left arm and right foot. Thumb points up, toes point down. Inhale where you are. Exhale, crunch. Bring knee and elbow to meet at the center. We'll do two more. Inhale, extend. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, extend. Exhale, crunch. Last time, inhale, extend. And this time, bend your right knee. Foot is still flexed. You can stay right here, hey, Penny. Or you can rotate that left arm around so the left thumb points up and try and grab onto that foot. If you lose your balance, no worries, that happens. Press into the mat with your right hand and let the chest open for tiger pose. And then exhale, release. Take a couple of cat-cows before we do the other side. Good. And then come back to the neutral spine. This time, right hand walks a little bit forward. Come off the left knee and stretch back into that left calf for a moment. And then come on back to neutral. And on your next inhale, lift the limbs. Thumb points up, toes point down. Inhale where you are. On the exhale, bring the knee and elbow to touch in the center. Inhale, extend. Exhale, crunch. Try not to let that low back round too much here. Try to keep that spine as neutral as possible. Good. Last time, inhale, extending. Bend the left knee. And if you want, you can reach that, circle that right arm around. Now, if it doesn't quite catch, if you're just reaching, that is okay. You're still getting that same stretch. So pressing down with the left hand, right side of the chest opens, and then release that, sit everything all the way back into a restful child's pose. Resting forehead down on the mat if that's comfortable. If not, otherwise, just reaching the forehead down as if it could touch. And then slowly walk the hands back in. And you can stay kneeling for this. We are going to be seated for a moment, so if it's more comfortable for you to just sit for a second, just sit. Let's stretch out our wrists because we are going to be on those a lot during our sun salutations. So right palm out like you're telling someone to stop. Gently pull the fingertips back. Fingertips point down, gently pull them towards you. Right palm faces up, gently pull the fingertips back. Remembering also that these are fantastic stretches. Release that for if you are typing or driving on the computer for a long time. It's great for that. Okay, other side, left hand out. Gently pull the fingertips back towards you. Fingertips down, gently pull in. And last one, palm faces up, gently stretch them back. Good. Release. Take your fingers, clasp your hands, and on your next inhale, raise the arms so that the palms are facing up to the ceilings, and arch your back a little bit like you're doing a cow pose and look up. On your exhale, bring the arms down parallel to the ground and round the back like we're in cat. Okay? Several more times. Inhale, arching, looking up. Exhale, rounding the back. All the way out, right? So sort of like a seated cat-cow with our arms also active. Good. Last time, inhale up, arch. Exhale, round. Inhale, last time, come up. And then exhale, gently release the arms. Okay. Last little bit we're going to do to warm up before we come to standing. Do come back on your knees. Now, I'm going to tell you this isn't one of my favorite stretches, but it is really helpful to do. Okay, so we're back on our knees. Come forward a little bit and really, really tuck the toes. And then sit back on your heels. We're stretching our toes and the soles of our feet. We're not going to stay here long. Hands rest, palms down on your thighs. And then come forward, flip the feet, and then just shake that out by tapping the tops of the feet on the mat. We're going to do this one more time. When you're ready, tuck the toes, sit on back, about how this is a part of the body we rarely stretch consciously. Good, and then gently come forward, tap those toes. And then set yourself up in your tabletop position. And then when you're ready, light tuck of the toes, not as tucked as we did in that last stretch. Lightly tuck the toes, and then lift your knees and your hips up and back to your first downward dog. Take a moment here to bend one knee at a time. Feeling your spine long and straight. Your calves driving down to the mat. Your hips pushing towards the back of the mat. And then when you're ready, taking your time, slowly walk your feet forward towards your hand, keeping those knees really bent. And then when you get there, leave feet hip distance apart. Maybe just sway from side to side. And if it feels better for you here to grasp opposite elbow, you can clasp opposite elbow. Really letting the knees be bent so that torso feels like you can just drape over the thighs. And then as you're ready, release your elbows if you had those clasped. And very slowly, very gently roll up. One vertebrae at a time. Head stays down, shoulders roll back, and then the head comes up. Beautiful. All right, friends. So we are going to start our sun salutations. Now, there are lots of different types of sun salutations. And every yoga teacher is probably going to teach them a slightly different way and have their own preferences, right? So there's no one perfect, exact, platonic ideal of a sun salutation. So today we're going to be doing 4 different kinds, and we'll add on to the last couple of them. And honestly, we're not doing anything that we haven't done in some of my classes before. We're just adding more of a flow element to it. Okay, so the first salutation that we're going to start with are our half salutations. If you've done my class before, you know that I do these every class because I really love them as a way to link breath with movement. And that's really what our sun salutations are for. To warm up the body for the rest of practice. Usually we do them at the beginning of practice. They actually say that you every morning should do sun salutations, and you should do the number of sun salutations that correspond to how old you are. So if you're 24, you should do 24 sun salutations every morning. I'm not going to tell you how many sun salutations I would have to do every morning, but it would be a lot more than that. Okay, let's get into it. So take our mountain pose to start our sun salutation. Now we're going to see variations here in how the arms come up and down, and honestly, that part is up to you. You can choose what works best. So we'll take our mountain pose. I'll face you for a moment. Feet about hips width apart, or whatever distance feels best for your body. Engage the leg muscles. Tailbone is slightly tucked. Arms resting at your sides. Palms facing forward or in towards yourself. Take a moment. Roll the shoulders back. Feel the shoulder blades melting down your back, and the gaze is straight ahead. So the way that I like to do my arms in my sun salutation, and follow along with me. On your inhale, raise the arms straight out and up. And on the exhale, bend the knees and fold forward. Hands resting lightly on the mat next to your feet, knees as bent as they need to be to achieve that. On your inhale, bring the hands to the shins, flatten the back like you're coming up halfway, look up. And then on the exhale, re-fold, re-bend the knees, folding in. On your inhale, arms straight out and up to come up to a stand. And on the exhale, arms down. All right, I'm going to do a few more of those. I'll show you the other arm variations so you can choose which ones you like. In this next arm variation, we're going to take the arms straight out and up, like we're swan diving up and down. Exhale everything. And then as you're ready, inhale the arms rise. Exhale, swan dive, bow down. Knees as bent as we like. Inhale, hands to the shins, lift halfway, flat back. Exhale, refold. And then inhale as we come up, arms out to the sides and up. Exhale, hands return. So those are our first two arm variations, straight out, up and down, or out to the sides like we're swan diving. The last variation we're going to take a look at is bringing the arms through heart center as we come down. So taking our mountain pose. And from this point on, you can raise your arms out or straight up. It's really up to you at this point. Take whatever variation you want. As you're ready, inhale, arms rise. Now in this variation, as we exhale, we bring palms together, bring them through heart center, and then let that fold us down. Again, knees bending as much as we like. Inhale, lift halfway, flat back. Exhale, fold. And then inhale once more, arms rise straight out. And on the exhale, once more, bring palms together and palms finish in front of the heart. Okay? So we're going to do one last cat salutation. And I want to encourage you to take whatever arm variation you want from this point forward. Straight out like a swan dive, straight out and up, or straight out and up, bringing palms together through the heart center in prayer. Up to you. All right, so let's take our mountain pose at the top of our mat for our last half salutation of the evening. Exhale everything. And then inhale, arms rise with whatever variation you've chosen. Exhale, bend the knees and fold, whatever arm variation you've chosen. Inhale, hands to the shins, lift up halfway. So crown of the head extends forward, thighs press back. Exhale, refold, rebend the knees. And on your inhale, arms rise with whichever variation you've chosen. Exhale, arms return with whichever variation you've chosen. Nice. Okay. So we're going to get into our next type of sun salutation, which is a lunge salutation. Use whatever arm variation you'd like to from this point forward. I like to go with the arms out and up and through prayer center, but that is up to you. Okay. Take your mountain pose at the top of the mat. When you're ready, exhale everything. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, bend the knees and fold. Inhale, hands to the shins, halfway, flat back. Exhale, refold. Right foot steps back, left foot stays where it is. So this front shin is vertical, knee directly over the ankle. Back leg is straight and strong, heel driving towards the back of the mat. We'll take an inhale here in the lunge. And then on your exhale, plant the hands flat and step this left foot back next to the right one, pressing back into downward facing dog. We'll take just a breath or two here. Inhale. And we come out the way we came in. So on your exhale, right foot steps forward. We're in a lunge on the other side now. Inhale here in your lunge. And on your exhale, step the left foot forward to meet the right, and we're in our fold. If it takes a couple steps to get there, no worries. Inhale, hands to the shins, lift up halfway. Exhale, rebend the knees, refold. Inhale, rise all the way to a stand. And exhale, hands return. Good. Now we're going to do the other side, because what our sun salutations usually have is two sides to them. All right, mountain pose. When you're ready, inhale, arms rise. Exhale, bend the knees and fold. Inhale, hands to the shins, come up halfway. Exhale, refold. This time, left foot steps back. Inhale here in your lunge, look forward, chest forward. On your exhale, plant your hands, right foot steps back to meet the left, downward facing dog for a couple of breaths. Good. Inhale where you are. On your exhale, left foot steps forward between the hands. Inhale on this side of the lunge, looking forward. And exhaling, stepping that right foot forward to meet the left. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, refold. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, return. Nice. We're going to do that one more time on each side, so one more complete lunge salutation before we move on to our next one. I told you we were going to move a lot tonight. All right. Mountain pose, top of your mat. Exhale everything. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, bending the knees and fold. Inhale, lift halfway, flat back. Exhale, refold, right foot steps back. One inhale here in our lunge, back heel driving back. Exhale, plant the hands, step back, downward facing dog. Inhaling. And exhale, right foot steps forward between the hands. Inhale here in the lunge, chest forward. Exhale, left foot steps forward to meet the right. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, refold. And inhale, press feet strongly into the earth to help you rise. Maybe take a little tiny back bend at the top. Exhale, hands return. Okay, last time, last side in this lunge salutation. As you're ready, inhale, arms rise. Exhale, bend the knees and fold forward. Inhale, hands to the shins, lift halfway, flat back. Exhale, left foot steps back, right foot forward in our lunge, inhaling here. Exhaling, planting the hands, stepping back, downward facing dog. And if you have to readjust your feet when you step back, that's okay, that happens. And inhaling where we are. Exhale, left foot steps between the hands. Inhaling here in the lunge. And exhale, right foot steps forward to meet the left. Inhale, hands to the shins, lift halfway. Exhale and fold. Inhale, rise to a stand, maybe a little tiny back bend. Exhale, hands return. All right. Just for a moment, make sure feet are hips width apart. Bring hands together, palms touching. Let your fingertips go wide and connect the thumb to your breastbone. And just for a moment, gaze down at the fingertips and take a couple of slow, steady breaths. Okay. Now the next type of sun salutation we're going to do is a crescent moon lunge. We're going to go through it once, and then we're going to add on a little bit to it the second time. So as you're ready, take your mountain pose, top of the mat. Take a deep inhale, and then exhale, open your mouth and sigh. That felt good. Let's do one more of those. Inhale through your nose. Exhale, sigh it out. Nice. All right. Retake your mountain pose. And as you're ready, inhale, the arms rise. Exhale, bend the knees and fold. Inhale, hands to the shins, lifting halfway. Exhale, refold, right foot steps back, and then right knee comes to the mat. Flip the toes so the top of the right foot is on the mat. Now, we have a couple of ways here to get up into our full crescent moon. One way is to place one hand and then the other on top of that left knee. And you can square the hips towards the front of the mat and sink that way. The other way that you can do this with your hands on either side of that front foot, to use your core strength and just lift those arms straight up by your ears for crescent moon. So totally up to you. Inhaling here, hands by your ears or on your thigh. And then exhale, bring the hands down, plant them flat. Tuck the back toes, come off the back knees. We're here in the lunge for a second. And then bring that left foot back to meet the right, downward facing dog. Breath or two here. Deep inhale. And exhale, right foot steps forward between the hands. Back knee down, back toes flip. And then once more coming up into crescent moon on this side. Exhale, plant the hands down. Come off the back knee and step that left foot forward to meet the right. When you get there, inhale, lift halfway, flat back. Exhale, refold. Inhale, bend the knees, press the feet into the earth to rise. Exhale, hands return. So you can see that that one is a lot like the lunging salutation. We're just putting our knee down and lifting our arms. Okay, let's get that other side. Mountain pose, top of your mat. When you're ready, inhale, arms rise. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift halfway, thighs back, crown of the head forward. Exhale, fold, left foot steps back, left knee down, left toes flip. Inhale, those arms up around your ears or by the thigh for crescent moon. And then exhale, hands down to either side of that front foot. Hands plant, come off the back knee. Step the front foot back to the back, downward facing dog. Inhaling dog. On your exhale, left foot steps forward between the hands, right knee down to the mat, right toes tuck, or flip rather. Inhale, arms up, crescent moon. Exhale, hands plant, come off the back knee, step it forward. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, refold. Inhale, rise to a stand. Exhale, return. Awesome. Okay, we're going to add on a little bit to this now with a couple of poses. We're also going to start adding the vinyasa element to this, where we come down with our bellies onto the mat. So we haven't been doing that yet, but we're going to start adding that now. Okay, great. All right. Mountain pose, top of your mat. Exhale everything. And then as you're ready, inhale, arms rise. Exhale, bend the knees and fold. Inhale, hands to the shins, lifting halfway. Exhale, refold, right foot steps back, right knee down, right toes flip. Inhale up to our crescent moon. Good. One more inhale here in crescent moon. And then on your exhale, hands down to either side of this front foot. I want you to wiggle this front foot out a little bit, maybe 6 inches or so. Inhale where you are. And then on your exhale, sink the hips back. Flex this front foot and get this nice stretch here in your left hamstring and left calf. And just for a second, I want you to inhale, try and extend and flatten the spine like we do in our half lift. And then exhale and fold in. Breath or two here in Ardha Hanuman or half monkey. Inhale where you are. And then on your exhale, slowly start to wiggle this front foot back into where it was. Plant your right hand to the inside of the left foot and make sure that your palm is lined up with the middle of your foot. Make sure that foot and right hand are about hips width apart from each other. Bring the left hand to the left hip. Inhale where you are. And on your exhale, open the chest to the left for a twisted crescent moon lunge. You can stay right here, or if you feel pretty stable, extend that left arm to the sky. Couple breaths here. Exhale, set that palm down. Now we're going to come back to our bellies, and we have, again, a couple of ways to do this. So the first way is one that I teach a lot in my classes, and that's simply to plant the palms and then bring this left knee back to meet the right one and lower all the way down onto your belly. So that's always one of your options. The other option, especially if you practice quite a bit and feel pretty strong with this, is to plant the hands again, come off that back knee, and then step the left foot back so we're in plank, and then squeezing the elbows in, lowering all the way down to the belly. Okay, so we're going to be doing that a couple more times in class for the rest of class. So choose whichever way you want to get back there. Okay, wherever you are, however you chose to get down to your belly, forearm to the mat, elbows underneath shoulders. Press the palms down and back like you could pull your chest through. Press the tops of the feet into the mat. Sphinx pose. Inhale where you are. And then exhale, planting the palms underneath your shoulders. We're going to come back to downward facing dog. Again, if you practice a lot, you feel really strong, you can just touch your toes and hinge all the way back into downward facing dog. Or sometimes a more elegant way to get back there is to come, press back into tabletop, and then tuck your toes and lift the knees and hips. It's however you want to get there. We'll take a couple breaths in dog before we come out of this the same way we came in. So inhale in dog. Exhale, right foot steps between the hands. Exhale, left knee comes down, back toes flip. Inhale, arms rise, crescent moon. Exhale, hands return. Come off the back knee. Step the left foot forward to meet the right. Inhale, hands to the shins, lift halfway, flat back. Exhale, we fold. And inhale, arms rise to a stand. Exhale. Hands return. Nice. All right. We're going to finish that out on the other side, and then we're going to tackle our last type of salutation. Take a moment. Reset your mountain pose. All right. As you're ready, inhale, the arms rise. Exhale, bend the knees and fold. Inhale, lift up halfway, flat back. Exhale, left foot takes a big step back, left knee down, toes flip, crescent moon. Then exhale, hands down to either side of that front foot. Wiggle the front foot out towards the front of your mat. Inhale where you are. And on your next exhale, shift the hips back until this right foot comes straight, right toes point up towards the sky. Take a moment, inhale, extend and straighten the spine. And then exhale and really fold in a little bit deeper. And your next inhale, come a little bit back up. Wiggle this foot back in under position. We want the knee to be directly over the ankle. Left hand plants about what would be hip distance from the right foot. Right hand to the right hip. Inhale where you are. And on your exhale, open the chest to the right. Leaving the right hand where it is, or maybe extending it towards the sky for our crescent moon lunge twist. Good. Exhale, right hand comes back. We're going to come back onto our bellies for that vinyasa. Remember, you can do that just by moving the right knee back to meet the left and then lowering down. Or coming off the back knee, stepping to plank, and lowering all the way down to your belly. It's up to you. Flip the toes, forearms out. We're coming into Sphinx pose once more. Fingers spread wide, tops of the feet press into the mat. Let the chest open and lift. And then plant the hands. Let's just press back into child's pose for a minute before we come through again. Then when you're ready, pressing back to your tabletop position, tucking the toes, lifting the knees and hips up and back, downward facing dog for a few breaths, couple breaths. Good, inhaling where you are. Exhale, left foot in between the hands, right knee down. Inhale, crescent moon. Remember, we come out the way we came in sun salutation. Exhale, hands down. Right foot off the knee, step forward. Inhale, hands to the shins, lift halfway. Exhale, refold. And inhale, arms rise to a stand. Exhale, hands release. All right, taking a break, grabbing a sip of water if you need it before we tackle our last type of sun salutation. Okay, so the last type of salutation we're going to do tonight, remember there are more than the 4 kinds we're looking at tonight. The last type of salutation we're going to do tonight is a high crescent or a crescent lunge. So it's going to be really similar to our lunge. It's going to be kind of a mashup of the lunge and the crescent moon arms, we're going to see. We've done it in class before. All right, mountain pose, top of the mat. This is our last little push, by the way. After we cover this type of salutation, we're going to bring it down to stretch out and cool down. So last little bit of energy and heat we're going to do right here. All right. Shoulders back. Gaze straight ahead. Eyes engaged. When you're ready, inhale, arms rise. Exhale, bend the knees and fold. Inhale, hands to the shins, lift halfway. Exhale, refold. Right foot steps back. Now, we're here in our lunge, and what we're going to be doing is, again, you can do this a couple of different ways. You can put one hand and then the other on that front knee, the way you did in Crescent Moon. The only difference is this back knee is up off the mat. Or, using your core strength, you can try and raise those arms directly from the ground up around your ears. Bend this back knee a little bit, let the back heel drive towards the back of the mat. And then exhale, everybody, hands down to either side of the front foot. Step the left foot back to meet the right, downward facing dog. And at this point, if you wanted to take one of our earlier versions of sun salutation, totally fine, you can do that. Inhale where you are. Exhale, right foot steps forward. Inhale, raise the arms to either side of the ears or the knee. Exhale, hands return, left foot steps forward to meet the right. Inhale, hands to the shins, lift halfway. Exhale, refold. Then inhale, arms rise. Exhale, hands return. Okay. We're going to take the other side, and then we'll do it one last time, adding on just a little bit, and I promise you that's going to be the last of the standing poses. All right. Mountain pose. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, bending the knees and fold. Inhale, hands to the shins, lift up halfway, flat back. Exhale, refold. Left foot steps back. Inhale to high crescent. Let that back knee point down towards the earth. Let that back heel drive back. Inhale. And then exhale, hands to either side of the front foot. Plant the hands, step the right foot back to meet the left for downward facing dog. Breath or two here. Inhale. On your exhale, left foot steps forward. Inhale up to that high crescent. Exhale, hands down. Right foot steps forward. Inhale, lift halfway, flat back. Exhale, fold. And then inhale, arms rise. Exhale, return. Oh gosh, so good. Last little round. We're not even going to do it one time on each side. We're going to be flipping to the back of our mat and going through each side that way. So last little bit here, I promise. As you're ready, take your mountain pose. Exhale everything. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, bend the knees and fold. Inhale, hands to the shins, lift halfway. Exhale, refold. Right foot takes a big step back. Inhale, up to our high crescent. Left knee is forward. And then exhale, pivot that right heel down towards the mat and come into warrior two. Arms parallel to the ground. Gaze over those left middle fingers. Few breaths here. On your next inhale, straighten this front leg, bring the hands to the hips, and then move these left toes so they're pointing the same direction as the right toes. Really should have changed my direction before demonstrating this. That's all right. So look down at your feet. Make sure toes are pointing forward. Toes and heels are parallel and in line with each other. Hands to the hips. Inhale where you are. And on your exhale, with maybe a slight bend in those knees, fold forward. Hands can stay on the hips, or you can bring the hands to the mat and walk the hands back until fingertips are in line with the toes. Inhale, come up halfway to flat back here. And then exhale, refold. And if it feels nice here, a little nice neck release is to nod the head yes. And shake the head no. Good. Now on your next inhale, lift up halfway. Maybe you're on your fingertips. And on your exhale, come all the way up. Now we're going to come back through the other way. So we're going to end up facing the back of our mat. So hands to the hips. Right toes point towards the back of your mat. Bend into that right knee. Hands out to the side. So now we're on warrior two with the right knee forward. A few breaths here. Good. Inhale where you are. And on your exhale, we're going to come into crescent but facing the back of the mat. So come off that back left knee, pivot so the hips are facing the back of your mat. Inhale, raise the arms, high crescent on that right side. And then everybody exhale, hands down to either side of that front foot. Last time we're going to come back to our belly. So either stepping back and plank and lowering, or just bringing the knee back. This time we're going to take a cobra, so hands underneath the shoulders, elbows hug in, tops of the feet press into the mat. Inhale, peel the chest off the mat. Make sure shoulders aren't hunched up around your ears. And then everyone exhale down and press all the way back into a well-deserved child's pose. And it's going to feel really good here to bring the big toes together and the knees wide. And then just snuggle your torso down in between. Take a rest. And then taking your time, slowly, gently press yourself back up. Just bring the legs out in front of you. You can face the front of your mat now, it doesn't really matter. And now let's sit and stretch a little bit before we take our final rest pose. So legs out long and straight. Take a second to move your flesh away from your sits bones so sits bones can sit more firmly on the earth. Legs are straight, but we can have a little bend in our knees if we need to. Feet are flat. Inhale, raise the arms up by your ears. And on your exhale, fold forward only as far as is comfortable for you. So some days you might be able to grab your feet. Other days, depending on how your body's feeling, you might be a little bit further back on the stretch. And that's great. That's fine. You know, the point of yoga is not to stretch further and farther every single time. I mean, you couldn't do that eventually, but you know, the goal of yoga is to, or one of them is to be able to check in with your body and see how your body is feeling and paying attention to your body in these stretches and listening to it and not pushing yourself past your edge is a great way to practice. So it doesn't matter where your edge is, as long as you're listening and respecting it, you know? Okay, a breath or two more here in Paschimottanasana, or stretch of the west. Inhale where you are. And on your exhale, gently, slowly release and sit back straight. Okay. All right. So we're going to stretch out the hips a little bit. So we're going to come into a position where our left leg is bent underneath us and our right knee is bent on top of the left. Okay, so right leg is crossed on top of left, and if we can, we're going to try and use our hands to stack the knees on top of each other, feet out to the sides. Now, if you're like, Jane, this is not going to happen with my hips tonight, that's okay. Your knees don't have to be right on top of each other, so this right knee can even be up a little bit. It doesn't have to come close. If even that is still not feeling good in your hips, what I prefer you to do is just come to an easy sit with this right leg crossed in front. Okay, so again, listen to your body and its edge and take whichever variation is appropriate for you tonight. All right. Now, if you've got the knees one on top of each other, take a second and press the palms into the arches of the feet. Try and make sure both glutes are sitting down evenly on the mat. Inhale, sit tall, and you can stay right here. This is enough of a stretch in your hips. Or if it feels good, you can exhale and slowly walk the fingertips forward to fold forward. Now, if you're in that easy cross-legged position, you have the same options. You can just stay there sitting up straight, or you can gently fold forward over those crossed legs. And if it feels good here, it might feel good to just slowly sway the torso back and forth. Now coming to a stillness. As you're ready, slowly walk the hands back in. We're going to turn this into a twist. So if you have the knees one on top of each other, raise the knee and plant this right foot to the outside of the left knee. Right hand behind you, left hand holds onto the right knee. Inhale where you are, get tall, and exhale, twist to the right. You could even bring this left elbow on top of the right thigh for a little bit more leverage. Now, if you're in the sit where you have the right leg crossed in front of the other, you can bring the left hand on top of the right knee, right hand behind you, and same thing as we're doing now. Inhale, get tall, exhale, and then twist open to the right. With each inhale, thinking about extending the spine. With each exhale, thinking about opening the twist a little further. Deep inhale in the twist. And then exhale, gently bring it back. And we're going to take that other side. So bring both legs straight for a second and maybe just shake them out. And then we'll switch. So right leg bent underneath you, right heel to the outside of the left glute. And then the left knee on top of the right. And again, if you were taking that cross-legged variation, just switch so that your left foot is now in front of the right foot when you're crossed. All right. First, we're going to hold on to press the palms into the arches of the feet and inhale to get tall. You can stay right here, or on your exhale, slowly walk the hands forward and fold. Ooh. Maybe you notice, like I just did, that one side's a lot more tender than the other, so you're not going to go as deep. Listening to what your body needs this evening. And taking deep breaths. See if you can picture yourself as you exhale, exhaling the air to those places of your body that feels most tight right now. So the hips, the hip creases. Maybe it's the outer glutes for you. Just visualizing the breath flowing into those areas to open them up. And as you're ready, taking your last deep inhale here. And on your exhale, very slowly, very gently. We never want to just snap right out of these deep hip twists like this. Bring yourself back up. And then we'll take the twist. So this time, left foot stamps to the outside of the right thigh. Left hand behind you. Right hand holds on to the left knee. Inhale, get tall. Exhale, twist it open to the left. And if you're in your easy sit, same thing. Left hand behind you, right hand holding on to the left knee, twisting over to the left. Good. One last deep inhale here in your twist. And on your exhale, slowly release. Come on back. And wherever you are, whatever seat you took, go ahead and unravel. Scoot yourself so that you're sitting sort of in the middle of your mat. Knees are bent, feet are flat on the mat in front of you. Arms out long. We're going to roll all the way down to our back. So I want you to take a deep inhale. And on your exhale, thinking about tucking this tailbone in and under. So you're sort of tucking that, scooping the low belly as you lower yourself all the way down. And then once you land back on the mat, walk those feet in closer to the groins until you can just brush the back of the heels. We're going to come into a bridge pose. So hands long at your sides, palms face down. Inhale where you are. And then on your exhale, tilt the pelvis back so low back presses the mat. And then from there, press into the feet, press into the tops of the upper arms so that the hips rise towards the ceiling. We're going to take a few breaths here. So if you find yourself needing a little bit more stretch, you can sort of snuggle the shoulders and shoulder blades underneath you and clasp your hands together under your glutes. Pressing down into the feet to help the hips lift. Pressing down into the tops of the upper arms to help the chest lift. And try and let your glutes relax here if you can. More breaths in our back bend. Good. Last inhale here. And if your hands were clasped underneath you on your exhale, unclasp them. And then everybody start to roll down back to the mat, one vertebrae at a time, from the top of the spine down. Lower back and sacrum last. And then when your back's all the way lowered down, Just take a couple of breaths without moving anything. Just gonna let everything settle. Good. All right. And then I want you to just bend one knee and then the other one into your chest. Maybe take a little rock from side to side, massaging that low back. And then reaching up, grabbing the outsides of the feet. Let the feet and knees go really wide, knees bent, soles of the feet facing the ceiling for your happy baby pose. And you can stay still or rock side to side and massage the low back, your choice. And then unclasp the feet. Bring the feet back to the mat. And let the legs go along. We're going to come into our final rest pose. If there are any other poses you would like to do before taking your final rest, I invite you to go ahead and do those poses now. Maybe you want to take a reclining pigeon or a little twist. Or maybe you just want to head right into your final rest pose. So if you want to head right into your final rest pose, that's great. Bring the legs out long. Bring the toes to touch. And then let the feet just splay out to either side. Take a second to get really comfy. Snug the shoulder blades underneath you. Hands can rest out at your sides, palms face up. Or a lot of times I like to take Shavasana with one hand on my belly and one hand on my heart. So find what works for you. And then maybe moving the head back and forth until you find that perfect position it wants to rest in for your rest. We'll be able to take a few minutes here in our final rest. So everybody take a deep inhale. Open your mouth and sigh it out. Let's take one more like that. Deepest inhale yet of your practice. Open the mouth and really let it go. And then just lie back, relax, and take rest. We worked really hard tonight, so now's the time to let our muscles loosen their grip on the bone and allow everything to just melt back into the earth, totally letting go. I'm going to go quiet for a moment or so, and I'll let you know when it's time to come back. Begin to deepen the breath. Start to come back to your body by making Little movements, wiggling the fingers and the toes, circling the wrists and the ankles. Taking a moment, stretching long like you're just waking up. Hands stretched away from the toes. And then when you're ready, bringing the feet to the earth and rolling over onto one side. Without rushing, use your hands to push yourself up to a seated position. Eyes can stay gently closed. And then once you're in your seated position, eyes gently closed, bring palms touching in front of the heart. Wonderful practice tonight. Thank you so much for joining me. Bow your head, drop your hands, and gently blink the eyes open and come back center. Great job, everyone. I look forward to sharing a new class with you in a couple of weeks. Good night. Take care.